the characters get involved?
Nina, I had known of her work over at Stratford East. They were doing a production called Do You Eat With Your Fingers there? But prior to that, I knew her as an actor. So, and at that particular time, there was a young actor called Paul Sharma there as well. Great tap dancer, fantastic. And a great performer, great actor in that way. The first time I met Sanjeev was, he came in to do work on the Real McCoy. We wrote a sketch together about, when, it was a time when Imran Khan just got married to Jemima.
Okay.
And we wrote this sketch about them being interviewed by, what's that magazine called?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
And it was like an interview like this, and there was, you know, Imran Khan, and he showed his kind of his holiday photographs, yeah. And there is Imran Khan in his very tight underpants, you know, on the sea, and then you see Jemima with a burqa on, you know, holding a ball or eating ice cream, yeah. And so that really led on to meeting Sanjeev and Nitin. Nitin and Sanjeev were doing something like a double act, Partners in Crime, or then Anil Gupta, who was a kind of a producer on and a writer on Real McCoy, thought of us bringing all four of us, if not six of us, together then, and we all met up in a pub, like you do, and bounced ideas off each other and say this is a possibility. Went away, came back and started to work on Goodness Gracious Me, and to put it as a live show. We put it as a live show, which was supposed to be only about an hour 15 minutes, which lasted nearly 2 hours that evening, and it was just fantastic atmosphere, a great atmosphere. We went in and created all these with two writers, Sharat Sadhana, Richard Pinto, and two other writers came in, a couple of other writers came in, Sanjeev Kohli, who started writing for the show. And then we got a lot of kind of television people to come and look at it. And BBC decided to take it on board and put it on radio, which we thought was great because it helps you develop it. It was like how the Goons started, how they were doing live shows, and they went back to that structure of making comedy through radio, through live, and slowly built an audience for it until the radio show won a couple of awards, and then the rest is history.
How long were you on radio for before it came onto TV?
About a year and a half, 2 years,
okay.
I would say. You know,
yeah. And were you ready for it to go onto TV?
I think so. I think when you had done the Real McCoy, you know what the construction was. You know, you knew to a level the material that we did have, how it could work, and it was really easy to kind of transgress it to TV.
Yeah. So on TV, I loved the show. Absolutely loved it. I think one of my favourite characters is Chunky Lafunga.
Oh, okay.
How did that concept come about?
Again, I think it stems to the day of that Real McCoy, when we did that Bollywood Star.
So when you were talking about that, I was thinking, oh, so that's how it originated.
So I think, but we developed it further and worked on it, and naturally just he just became, he had more of a voice, and what sort of star he would be.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies. Chunky Lafunga here on the set of his latest blockbuster, Hero. This is the first film for Lafunga Productions. My father is involved, my mother, and my sister. So this is a family business, you know. Just like some of you poor people with shops. I'm always joking, you know, joking.
My favourites. You had quite a few actually, didn't you?
Yeah, I did Bhangra Man, we did...
There's Mr. Cooper as well?
Yes.
Which was your favourite out of all of those that you did?
Oh, wow. You know, what I really...
Which one did you really enjoy then?
Mr. Cooper was great fun, you know, because he has this... It really placed us in a place where we were caught up in these cultures, yet trying to define ourselves for who we are, and yet what was a good thing about Mr. Cooper, he was trying so hard to let go of his culture, of the Indianness in him, but it was so much in him, it would just come out of him, and he would kind of cringe at when it would come out within his temperament. So I did enjoy Mr. Cooper because he at the same time, you know, the muffins were great fun, and Bhangra Man was just really off the cuff, and he was totally free, and the language of Punjabi, of using that within that culture. So each character, I think each sort of what I wanted to do was to make it as much as real and unique for each sketch that was created.
And was there anything kind of real life experiences that fed into any of these characters? So I remember one sketch that you did where you used to open the door and you had in the back of the car, so open the door of the car, you used to have the tissue box at the back, and you used to get everybody in.
Yeah. That's,
I know back in the day when I was younger, you know, my dad used to just get as many people as he can in the back, save on the fuel, don't need to take 2 cars.
That's right.
Any of those kind of experiences?
Well, they're all our experiences.
Yeah.
You know, you have to fall to your own experiences, and you relate them to society as for the community you are growing up with.
Yeah.
And that was the beautiful thing about Goodness Gracious Me, because it wasn't just my stories, we could relate them to everyone's stories, whether you're of an Asian culture or a white culture, of any culture, because you could find those similarities. And that's, I think that's where the program really worked well. It sort of bridged that gap, you know, and made us think that we weren't in any way any different. Yeah,
and obviously going out for fish and chips.
Going out for an English.
Right,
even fish and chips.
Oh, fish and chips, yeah.
That's like our parrot sketch, really, isn't it? It was one of the first ones that was created. It's again turning it on its head. So a lot of the British community really took that on board, and it showed us in a way that we know what is happening within our community and away from our community, what people do think of us.
So one of the best or successful comedy shows to be shown on TV, and then it ended.
Yeah.
How did that happen? What happened there?
I don't know.
I was upset. I used to look forward to it. I was thinking, yes, it's coming on. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
What happened?
It's a tough one because we had just done the tour as well, and we were going into we had a tour that was going to be lasting about 2 weeks. And that lasted for nearly a whole month, for 28 days, and the final cherry on the cake was to go into the London Palladium. So that was the last, and sadly the London Palladium didn't happen for many reasons, and we were thinking of coming, what I heard was that we were thinking of coming to do the 4 series. By that time I decided to have a break myself anyway. I wanted to get away and have a holiday. We've been in each other's pockets for nearly 4 or 5 years. So I dyed my hair blonde and flew off to Australia. I did. Just to go and have a break out there, thinking that I was going to come back and start the 4 series. And when I got back, they had, I don't know why, they thought maybe they'll pick it up a year later and do it again. By that time they decided Meera and Sanjeev had decided to do the Kumars. Yeah. And I thought, cool, all right, I'll go and work for the Royal Shakespeare Company. So I thought that was a way I wanted to go as well, back into the theatre, and it'd be great to go and work for that institution. And at the same time, there was another offer to go and do Marriage of Figaro at Manchester Royal Exchange. So there was really good work coming in, and a couple of films. And I thought, again, right, by doing the McCoy and moving into Goodness Gracious Me, all of a sudden I looked at, oh God, there's been 8-9 years of comedy. Yes, in between I've been doing other work, but the quality of work that was being given next was quite challenging. So I took a decision of saying, right, okay, these guys carry on. I wanted to go and move myself into something else, and thinking that I would always come back to it if there was a calling, and there seems to be a calling, but it's just uniting us all back together again. That's
so do you speak to Sanjeev?
Yeah, we're cool.
Your friends. You didn't have a big argument and
I didn't. No. That was cool. You know, I still speak to all of them in that respect.
So what does the future hold then? So what are you working on right now?
Hey, I'm writing like I say, I'm just starting to I want to get back into doing a theatre show as a one-man show. So I've started formatting that, looking at the year 2012 in the early part to get the show out. I'm going to go and do a Bollywood film, a London-based London Bollywood film, which I've never done before.
Any famous actors?
I don't know yet. I mean, I was just being approached by the company about 3 weeks ago, so I'm reading the script.
Yeah.
It's quite good fun. It's a different type of genre that I've ever done before. So I think that would be great, because it'd be great fun to do. It's that looking to do that during the summer. And in October we're looking to do a play that I did in Edinburgh about a year and a half ago, called A British Subject, about Tahir Mirza Hussain, who was imprisoned in Pakistan for about 18 years, and he was just released about 2-3 years ago, which is again quite a different sort of piece. I don't like to say it's dramatic in that sense. It's quite kind of introvert, and not necessarily breaking the fourth wall. And I like going back to that theatre life, that creating something like that again. So we're looking to do that in October. Where there is a documentary to go to Africa with a charity called Pan Africa in October as well. It'll be the first time I actually go back to my hometown where I was born, back to Nairobi. So there is work ahead, and I think good work. I think I can really get my teeth into, and stuff I do want to do.
I'm looking forward to this Bollywood film.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I haven't got it. I read it. I read it the other day, and you think, whoa, okay. And it's going to be done in Hindi.
Okay.
So
you can speak obviously Hindi, Punjabi.
Punjabi's no problem with.
Yeah.
You know, Punjabi's great. The Hindi is kind of tutti frutti.
Yeah.
You know, but there's films that I've done where you do have to go to speak another language. You know, I did the film. What was it? Halal Harry. Where the character was Muslim, but he spoke Urdu.
Right.
And the great thing is I had my dad who speaks Urdu fluently. So I would go ring him up and spend some time up with him and go through the script with him and learn the Urdu that way. I have a lady I know really well who's at the moment from India, speaks brilliant Hindi. So I'll sit her down for around about 2 or 3 days, you know, and go through the piece and make sure get it, you know, proper.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to be dubbed. Because they're even talking about that, we'll dub you. I said, no, I don't do that.
You got to be professional, like you got to speak language.
That's the challenge with the job. You know, that's why you take these jobs on, because you say, right, okay, what's the next thing? And with language, it's great. And to Hindi, yes, to a certain extent, I can speak it, but to actually speak it in that film format and to make it work, I think it would be a real challenge.
Yeah. So, question that a lot of our viewers are probably thinking about: are we going to see Goodness Gracious Me again?
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know, in my heart, I would love to do it again. You know, there's such a calling for it from especially for the new generation as well.
Definitely.
As that generation has finished, they're introducing it to the young, and I think there is scope for it. It did. So I love to do it again.
Do you think Meera and Sanjeev will be up for it as well?
I think you have to ask them that. And you have to ask
them. We'll get hold of them,
eh? Yeah, get hold of them.
So she's busy in EastEnders, isn't she?
Yeah, you know. Nina's very busy there, and Meera's, as I know, I think she's creating new work. I'm not too sure what Sanjay's up to at the moment, but I think he's always be busy. So it's what they'll find for themselves, what they want to do. So it's up to them.
Great. Well, I wish you all the best for the future. Obviously, if people want more information, you got Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, keep your ears and eyes pinned on the web.
Yeah.
Like I say, hopefully I have the show written before March next year, and then we'll get these 4 shows put out. And I think they're going to be quite unique, because it will be the first time I go onto stage like that as a complete show. The last one I did like that was with Goodness Gracious Me. So it's quite nervy at the same time, just to create something really, really, really special as well.
Looking forward to it.
Our pleasure.
All the best. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Bal.
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay.
Howdo, you're watching Brit. My name's Kulvinder Ghir, and keep it locked.